Exposed, my daughter's hidden deceit and the incredible revenge my son discovered for our family. In the cozy town of Maplewood, rumors flew like autumn leaves in the wind. Each whispered word felt like a dagger to the heart, especially when it came to Amy, the owner of the local bakery known for her mouth-watering apple pies. As a devoted mother to two teenagers, Lily and Jake, she had always believed in family values: kindness, respect, and love. But now, her world was crumbling. The rumors that her sweet daughter was bullying a classmate named Mia. The drama simmered beneath the surface, threatening to boil over in their tight-knit community, and Amy felt the weight of it all pressing down on her, suffocating. One chilly afternoon, while the smell of cinnamon filled her bakery, Amy's heart sank when a close friend mentioned Lily's name and that of Mia in the same breath. "You can't be serious," Amy gasped, her voice trembling. The words hit her like a freight train. Her daughter, the girl she'd instilled values in, was hurting someone. She could hardly breathe. Torn between disbelief and despair, Amy couldn't shake the feeling of impending doom. She felt the fraying connection with her family. The love they shared seemed overshadowed by darkness. As the days stretched into a blur, Jake stumbled upon crumpled notes hidden in Lily's room, messages that revealed a web of deceit and cruelty. He felt torn, caught between his loyalty to his sister and the moral obligation to stand up for Mia. How could she do this? Jake whispered to himself, clutching the crumpled papers like a lifeline. His heart raced, the silence in their home growing louder with every passing day. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Jake resolved to confront Lily, but when he did, he uncovered the heart-wrenching truth. It wasn't just about Mia. It was about Lily's hidden struggles, the weight of expectations and her desperate need to fit in. Pain coursed through him, and he felt a tightness in his chest. "Why, Lily? You've changed," he said, struggling to hold his sister's gaze. In the shadows of their bakery, a wise old lady from the community, whom they all called Grandma Edna, watched the family unravel. With a gentle nudge, she stepped in, guiding Jake towards compassion instead of confrontation. "Children can't be expected to cherish values they don't understand, dear," she said softly. At a family dinner filled with icy silence, Amy sensed the tension. Would her family ever heal? Would Lily find the path to redemption, or would pride push her further away from healing? And as whispers grew louder in Maplewood, a revelation about Mia's own struggles threatened to change everything. Would they rally together, or would this storm pull them apart forever? The air was thick with unanswered questions, leaving the family on the brink of a life-altering decision. The next morning, the sunlight struggled to break through the clouds, casting a gray hue over Maplewood. Amy opened the bakery, the familiar scent of warm bread and cinnamon swirling around her. But as she kneaded the dough, her thoughts spiraled back to her children. Were they okay? Had she lost Lily forever? Jake sat at the kitchen table, staring blankly at his phone. He felt like he was carrying the weight of both his sister's shame and his own dilemma. Every message from his friends about the latest drama at school twisted the knife deeper. He couldn't shake the feeling that he needed to protect both Lily and Mia, but how could he do that without betraying one of them? "Jake, honey, how are you doing?" Amy asked, breaking the heavy silence. That he looked up, and for a moment their eyes locked. There were questions he wanted to ask, fears he wanted to express, but the words tangled in his throat. "I don't know, Mom. It just seems so messed up." She nodded, feeling the sting of his words. "I know. We're all feeling it, trust me. But we have to find a way to talk to each other. You, me, and Lily." Just then, the bell above the bakery door chimed, and Grandma Edna strolled in, her presence bringing a strange sense of comfort. "Morning, folks. A little sunshine never hurt anyone." she chirped, though the tension in the room was palpable. "Good morning, Edna," Amy replied, forcing a smile. Edna's sharp eyes quickly caught the undercurrents swirling around. She approached Jake, placing a gentle hand on his shoulder. "You look troubled, dear. Sometimes sharing our burdens lightens the load." Jake hesitated before exhaling deeply. "It's just, how do you deal with someone you love hurting someone else?" Edna's gaze softened. "Ah, that's the hardest part. Love often comes with complications. But remember, it's in the understanding and healing where we find purpose." Meanwhile, Lily sat in her room, her hands trembling over her phone. On the screen was Mia's latest post, a picture of her with friends, all smiles and laughter. It twisted in Lily's gut like a knife. Guilt washed over her. Could she even face Mia again after everything? Could she bring herself to apologize? Suddenly, she received a message. It was Jake. "We need to talk. Can you come down?" Nerves shot through her as she descended the stairs, each step heavier than the last. In the kitchen, she found Jake, Amy, and Edna sitting around the table, a united front formed against her chaos. "What is going on? Did I do something wrong?" she asked, anxiety bubbling in her chest. "Lily," Amy began softly, "we need to talk about your actions. We love you, but we cannot ignore the hurt that's being caused." The room fell into silence, but inside, Lily's heart raced. She felt cornered, yet she also felt the understanding she hadn't anticipated. Maybe there was a way to bridge her mistakes and Mia's hurt. Maybe it wouldn't be too late to fix this after all. But just as she gathered her thoughts to speak, the bakery door swung open, revealing Mia standing there, her eyes glowing with unshed tears. "I need to talk to you, Lily," Mia said, her voice breaking. The family turned, and the tension in the room snapped tight, creating a profound moment that felt suspended in time. Would they be able to face the truth together, or would the weight of their secrets shatter them apart? Lily looked at her family, then at Mia, realizing this moment was crucial. It was a crossroads that could lead to healing or ruin. What would she choose? Lily's heart pounded as Mia stepped further into the bakery, her wide eyes scanning the faces around the table. The warmth of the bakery suddenly felt stifling. "Can we go outside?" Mia asked, her voice trembling. Jake looked at Lily, unsure. He wanted to protect her but also realized this was a moment they couldn't run from. "Yeah, let us talk outside," he said softly. The two girls stepped out into the cool morning air, and the door shut behind them, muffling the sound of the bustling bakery. It felt like stepping into a different world, one where emotions could run wild and unrestrained. The gray clouds overhead mirrored the heaviness in Lily's chest. Mia shifted on her feet, glancing back at the bakery as if the walls held more secrets than she did. "I didn't come here to fight," she began, looking at the ground. I miss you, Lil. I know you're upset with me, and I get it, but I want to talk it out." Lily swallowed hard, the lump in her throat making it difficult to speak. "You don't get it, Mia. You hurt me. You made me look like a fool." Her voice was sharper than she intended, but pain often found its way out through anger. Mia took a shaky breath. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I never wanted you to feel alone or betrayed. I messed up, and I'm sorry. Can we just start over?" What does starting over even look like? The question flitted through Lily's mind, darkening the flicker of hope building inside her. She wanted to forgive her but felt trapped by her own hurt. What about everything? "You've betrayed me not just in one moment, but for a long time now." "I know," Mia said softly. "And I wish I could take it all back. But I want to be a better friend. I want to make it right." As they stood there, the chilly wind swirling around them, something shifted in Lily. Maybe it was the desperation in Mia's eyes or the memory of all their laughter echoing in her mind. But it was an impulse to reach out that brought a hint of warmth back into the moment. "Maybe we can try," Lily finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. "But it won't be easy. A small smile broke through Mia's tears, and for the first time in days, Lily felt like there might be a way forward if only they could confront the shadows of their past. Just then, a loud rumble echoed through the sky, and fat drops of rain began to fall. The two girls laughed, surprised by the sudden turn. "We should probably get back inside before we get soaked," Mia suggested, wiping an errant tear off her cheek. "Yeah, and face my family," Lily replied, her stomach nodding again at the thought that as they turned to head back inside, they barely took a step when Jake appeared in the doorway, his expression serious. "I know it's hard right now, but you both need to." But before he could finish, a sharp clap of thunder rang out, followed by a complete power outage in the bakery. The lights flickered and died, plunging everything into darkness. Lily felt a surge of fear surrounded by uncertainty and navigating the delicate threads of her friendship with Mia. What lay beneath the surface of their moment was still uncharted territory. "What is happening?" she called out as she fumbled to find Mia's hand. "Let us get inside," Jake shouted, pulling them both toward the door. As they rushed into the heavy silence of the bakery, a fear gnawed at Lily. Could they really face the truth, or was this darkness just the beginning of something much worse? Lily squinted as her eyes adjusted to the dim light inside the bakery. The chatter had dissipated, replaced by the anxious whispers of those who had been caught off guard by the sudden darkness. The waft of pastries and coffee now felt distant, drowned in the weight of the moment. She could feel everyone's eyes flickering toward them, suddenly aware of the tension that hung heavier than the darkened air, or perhaps it was just her own anxiety amplifying the scrutiny. "Mia, are you okay?" Jake's voice broke through the haze, bringing her back into focus. "I think so," Mia replied, her fingers trembling as they gripped Lily's arm. I don't know where to go from here. I thought we were finding our way back." The bakery was quieter now, and the thick darkness seemed to amplify their emotions. The sounds of distant rain drummed on the roof overhead, a soft percussion keeping pace with Lily's anxious heartbeat. "Yeah, well," Lily sank deeper into her thoughts. "A lot has changed. I don't know if we can just put it all aside. What you did hurt me, Mia." "I know," Mia said, her voice cracking. "But I want to change. I don't want to lose you. Can we at least take a moment to breathe? Figure it out without all of this chaos?" Lily hesitated, feeling exposed in front of everyone. "I just don't want to look like a fool again, okay?" With the scent of freshly baked bread still lingering in the air, Jake stepped in. "Hey, we're all in this together. No one is judging you. You both are the strongest people I know. All that matters is how you take the next step." A flicker of hope ignited within Lily. Could they possibly move past this? Despite her reservations, she wanted to believe in the idea of forgiveness. The past was messy and complicated, but this was their chance to reshape it, or at least, their friendship. Just then, the lights flickered back on, illuminating the bakery in a subdued glow. Familiar faces stared back at her, and reassurance washed over her like sunlight breaking through the clouds. She could see understanding in the eyes of the customers who paused their conversations. Maybe they were witnessing a pivotal moment, the kind that could redefine something precious. I need some air," Lily said suddenly, surprising herself as she stepped back toward the door. "Can you give me a minute?" "I'll come with you," Jake said, but Lily shook her head. "No. Just give me a moment with Mia." The uncertainty was suffocating, yet she needed that space to catch her breath. The air inside was charged with an expectation she wasn't ready to navigate. She stepped outside again, and the rain hit her face like cool kisses from the sky. Mia followed closely behind. "Lily, please." Lily turned to face Mia, heart racing. "We're still at a crossroads, aren't we? You've been my best friend, but what if things are just too broken?" Rain dripped from Mia's hair, her eyes pleading. "It's not too broken. You're not alone in this. I promise I'll do everything to fix it." "Can you really keep that promise?" As they stood there, caught in the downpour with emotions roiling, doubts crept in. The rain turned from light to heavy, obscuring everything around them. But within that storm, Lily felt a realization that their friendship was worth fighting for, even if it meant confronting their demons. A shadow passed over Mia's face. We need to face my part in this, and dive into it. Are you ready? But before Lily could respond, a figure emerged from the shadows, glancing around as if searching for something or someone. It was Jake. Lily, I need to talk to you. It's important. Suddenly, the storm felt much less like a backdrop to their emotional moment and more like a curtain rising on another layer of complexity. What was Jake about to reveal that made him look so serious? Lily's heart tightened as she braced herself for what was next. Were storms merely signs of trouble or potential cleansing, leading to something brighter? She clutched Mia's hand tighter, standing on the precipice of a deeper revelation. Was their newfound hope about to collide with a storm of truths they hadn't anticipated? Jake stepped closer, his expression drawn tight. The rain continued to pour, soaking their clothes, but it was the weight of unspoken words that hummed in the air. Lily, something happened at the bakery. I saw someone. Who? She interrupted, her heartbeat quickening again. I think someone's been watching us. More like, watching Mia. Lily's stomach dropped as she glanced at Mia, who had gone pale. Watching us? Why? Who? Jake hesitated, the rain slicking back his hair, revealing a worried brow. I'm not sure, but I saw a figure. I thought they were just a stranger lingering, but when I looked closer, it felt off. Like they were waiting for something, or someone. Why didn't you say something sooner? Mia's voice shook, and a flash of fear darted through her eyes. I didn't want to freak you out, Jake said quickly. But it felt serious. I think we need to what? Lily snapped, emotions surging like lightning in her chest. You're talking about a stranger in the shadows. What if they're dangerous? They could be, Jake admitted, glancing around as if the mere mention of a threat might conjure it from the evening's gloom. But we can't run away from this. We need to stay together, whatever it is, we'll handle it. Mia took a step closer to Lily. Jake's right. We shouldn't panic. We need to know what's really going on. Maybe it ties back to everything else. Her voice trailed off, a wave of realization washing over her. Maybe it's connected to what I did. The rain pounded harder, creating a symphony of chaos as the world outside mirrored their internal turmoil. Lily's thoughts raced. Could this all be interlinked? What happened between them, Mia's secrets? It felt like strings weaving tighter and tighter around their friendship. Just then, a flash of light splintered the dark sky, illuminating the street for a heartbeat. Lily caught a glimpse through the downpour, a silhouette watching from across the road, partially obscured by the flickering street lamp. Panic flooded her veins. Did you see that? She whispered, her voice barely audible over the storm. I did, Jake said, eyes wide. We can't stay out here. They exchanged glances, realizing their only option was to confront whatever had lurked in the shadows. Let us go back into the bakery, Mia said, her determination breaking through the fear. We can talk about this together. No, we need to face whoever it is first, Lily insisted. She could feel adrenaline coursing through her. It was time to take a stand. If it's about us, we can't run. The trio took cautious steps toward the figure, each footfall echoing the rising tension in the air. With each step closer to the mystery, the anticipation weighed on them like lead. They were not just moving toward a stranger, they were collectively stepping toward the potential unraveling of truths they had buried and miscommunications that could alter their lives forever. As they approached, the figure turned, eyes in the shadow shimmering like a cat's. Recognition flashed across their face before they stepped into the light. Lily, we need to talk, the figure said, voice eerily familiar. Lily's breath caught, her heart racing with a mix of dread and reluctance. What now? Who was this person, and why did they think now was the time to reveal themselves? Do you want to dive into our history now, or wait until it consumes us all? The stranger asked, tension curling like smoke around them. The answer loomed large and heavy in the air. Would they muster the courage to confront the past they had been avoiding? Lily stood frozen, the rain drenching her, mixing with her rising panic. The familiar figure stepping into the light was like a ghost from a past she thought was buried, a past that churned inside her like a storm. Alex? She breathed, barely able to keep her voice steady. Memories rushed back, memories she wanted to forget but couldn't escape. How did you? Her question faded as disbelief gripped her. Lily, please, just listen, Alex pleaded, stepping closer. The worry and desperation in his eyes told her there was no going back now. Mia shifted uneasily beside her, glancing at Jake, who looked equally bewildered. What are you doing here? Mia finally found her voice, a mixture of anger and curiosity. You left. You made your choice. I realize that now, Alex said, his voice tight. But I think it's time we talked about what really happened. It's bigger than just me leaving. What could be bigger than that? Mia spat, her usually calm facade cracking. You hurt all of us. Air crackled with tension. Lily could feel her heart pounding in her ears. She didn't know what to believe. Did he really care anymore? Or was this just a ploy to draw them back into chaos? I'm not here to make excuses, Alex said, his voice dropping. I've been doing a lot of thinking. I know I messed up, but the thing is people are watching you. They always have been. And it connects to what happened years ago. Jake clenched his fists, trying to mask his unease. What do you mean? What do you know about us? Enough to know that you're caught in something you don't fully understand, Alex replied, his tone urgent. This isn't about just me or even Mia, it's about your pasts catching up with you. Someone is out there. They want to know the truth. Mia shook her head, fractions of disbelief sifting through her frustration. And you think exposing everything will make it better? You think these secrets just walked away? No, I don't, Alex hesitated, but hiding isn't an option anymore. Not if you want to protect yourselves. Lily's emotions swirled in a blizzard of confusion. She recognized the sincerity in Alex's eyes, but the fear of what could come next laced her stomach with dread. Did she really want to hear what he had to say? Why now? She whispered, struggling to keep her vulnerable emotions under wraps. Because I can't keep running, he said, frustration breaking through. Because I care about Mia. About you. And because there is someone out there who will expose everything if we don't. He stopped, glancing back toward the shadows, the storm whipping around them like a warning. Are you saying we're in danger? Jake asked, his voice growing fierce. Yes. Alex exclaimed, a sense of urgency rising. You're too close to the fire for me to watch from a distance anymore. You need to trust me. Trust you. Mia threw her hands in the air, disbelief etched across her face. You lost that right when you left. Just listen. Alex yelled, the rising storm reflecting his desperation. You have to believe me. I'm not here to hurt you, I'm here to help. But we have to move fast. I know who has been watching. The tension felt electrifying, thick enough to grab at their throats. Consequences of the past danced in their minds like ghosts. Could they trust him? Could they even trust themselves? Tell us, Lily finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. Tell us now, before it's too late. Can you keep a secret? Alex asked, stepping even closer, swallowing hard. You're going to need to. The storm raged around them as they stood at the edge of something too big to ignore, hearts racing and minds racing faster. Would they expose themselves to whatever lay ahead, or would they risk it all to save each other? The night felt darker, but one thing was clear, the truth was about to come crashing down, and none of them were prepared for the shockwaves it would send through their already fragile world. Lily's breath caught as she watched Alex grapple with the weight of his words. The rain poured heavier, drumming on the pavement in a chaotic rhythm that matched her racing heart. What secret? She finally asked, fighting to keep her voice steady despite the knot tightening in her throat. It's about the accident, the one that changed everything, he said, glancing at the shadows, as if expecting someone to emerge. Mia stepped in, her face pale. You're saying it was never an accident? You can't be serious. It wasn't just a car crash, Mia, Alex stressed, his gaze darting between them. There were people involved, people who wanted to bury the truth. And they're still watching you, all of us. Jake scoffed, anger flashing across his face. So you come back now to throw around wild accusations? What's wrong with you? Jake, stop, Lily interjected. She turned to Alex, his expression exposing a sincerity she hadn't expected. Do you really believe that? The accident wasn't planned? I didn't know it at the time, Alex answered solemnly. But what I found out, it haunts me. I couldn't let you all get hurt again. You deserve to know the truth. The storm around them grew quieter, the rain becoming a mere background as silence settled momentarily. The truth lay heavy in the air, an unwelcome presence stinging at Lily's mind. What do you want us to do? Mia's voice was softer now, the edge of her anger dulled as curiosity replaced it. If we don't confront this, it will consume you, Alex replied. I've seen what happens when secrets linger too long. They fester and grow stronger until they explode. We need to act before they decide to make a move. Jake's fists remained clenched, but his fierce demeanor began to soften as the weight of Alex's revelation seeped into him. And you think running back here will fix everything? I know it's a lot to take in, Alex admitted. But we can find out who is behind this. We can expose them together. All of us. Lily felt the desperation in his tone, tugging at something deep within her. Her instincts screamed to retreat, to shield herself from this chaos, but another part of her, a part fueled by the pain of the past, wanted closure. What do we need to do? She asked, her voice steadying. First, we gather information, Alex replied, his eyes glimmering with a mix of fear and determination. Then we confront those who've been watching. It won't be easy, but we have to be united. We can't let them control our lives any longer. Mia exchanged glances with Jake, uncertainty flickering between them. Do you really think we can handle this? After everything? Lily nodded, swallowing hard. We have to try. If there's a chance to not just uncover the truth but finally reclaim our lives, we owe it to ourselves. As the storm began to weaken, a sense of resolve filled the air, thick and palpable. They stood together, a knot of emotions intertwined, still unsure of what lay ahead but driven by a shared purpose. Then let us do it, Jake finally said, his voice steady, holding the courage they all needed. Tonight, Alex clarified, urgency creeping into his words. We need to check the old warehouse. That's where the answers are hiding. The very mention of that place sent a shiver down Lily's spine, memories flooding her with dread. But she knew they had to face the shadows of the past to escape the chains they had been bound by. Let us go, she said, her heart racing as they stepped into the unknown together. The question loomed heavy in the air: would they find the truth, or would it lead them deeper into danger? The night held its breath, and Lily braced herself, knowing that the storm was far from over. But it was time to face what had been hidden for far too long. What awaited them in that warehouse? Would they emerge as survivors or victims of their own secrets? The walk toward the warehouse felt like marching into a mouth of darkness. With every step, Lily's heart thudded against her ribs, the old building looming ahead, draped in shadows that felt like they were swallowing the light. The rain had eased, but droplets still clung to her clothes, making her shiver. As they approached, she shot a glance at Alex. His jaw was clenched, his gaze unwavering. It was as if, in his determination, he held the key to their freedom, or perhaps their doom. Is this really the place? Mia asked, her voice barely above a whisper. She looked nervous, swallowing hard as she peered into the seemingly deserted structure. It's the only lead we have, Alex replied firmly, his tone brokering no room for doubt. Jake stood tall, his posture protective yet unsure. If we're going in, we stick together. No one gets left behind. Lily appreciated his words. Even in the face of uncertainty, a flicker of safety simmered beneath the resolve. They moved as a single entity, pushing through the cracked door that creaked eerily. The smell of must and decay flooded her senses. Dust particles danced in the scattered beams of moonlight that sliced through the broken windows. Inside, the air felt thick and suffocating. They stepped cautiously, their footsteps echoing unervingly around them. The remnants of forgotten machines and stacked crates cast strange shadows, their eerie shapes playing tricks on her imagination. "Do you think we'll find anything?" Mia asked, her voice small. Lily wanted to reassure her. "We have to," she whispered back. "We need answers." A shuffling noise from the far corner made them all freeze. Heart pounding in her chest, Lily felt a wave of fear wash over her. "What was that?" she asked, her voice barely audible. "Stay close," Jake warned, edging forward, his fists tight and ready to defend. They moved as one, hearts racing, toward the sound. Just then, Alex raised his hand. "Wait," he murmured, his eyes scanning the dim space. The air shifted. Suddenly, a shadow darted past them, and without thinking, Lily lunged. "Stop!" A figure tumbled forth, wide-eyed and disheveled. It was a girl, no older than they were, with wild hair and clothes that looked dated, as if she had been hiding away for ages. "Who are you?" Alex demanded, stepping forward. "Please, don't hurt me." The girl gasped, cowering against the wall. "I was just trying to hide." Mia took a cautious step closer. "Why are you here?" I know things," the girl stammered, her eyes darting around as if expecting someone to come charging in. "I saw what happened. I know who was involved." A chill of realization swept through Lily. "You mean about the accident?" The girl nodded, her expression earnest. "And why it happened?" "You're in danger, they're still looking for you." Her words unfurled like a nightmare. The tension in the air thickened as Alex's eyes met Lily's. In that shared glance, an unspoken understanding passed between them. The reality of their situation intensified. This was no longer just about the past, it was about survival. "What do we do now?" Jake asked, fear creeping into his voice. "Listen to her," Alex said, his voice firm. "We can't turn back now." Lily's stomach twisted with uncertainty. They had come here seeking answers but had stumbled into an even deeper mystery. The girl was a thread connecting them to the truth, a truth that promised danger. "Tell us everything," Lily urged, feeling a mix of fear and an uncontrollable desire to know that in the flickering shadows. The girl began to speak, her voice trembling with stories that could change everything. Would they be ready for what came next? As she revealed the secrets buried within those walls, what awaited them in the dark? The girl's voice quivered, yet there was a strength in her gaze that sparked curiosity and dread at the same time. "You don't understand what you're involved with," she began, glancing over her shoulder as if the walls themselves were listening. "The accident wasn't just an accident. It was planned. And the people responsible, they won't stop looking for you." Lily felt a chill grasp her heart, the weight of the girl's words pressing down like a heavy fog. "What do you mean, planned?" she asked, her throat tight. "Someone wanted to silence the people who knew too much," the girl said, wiping a bead of sweat from her forehead. "They used that night as a cover. The fire, it took everything. But the truth? It's still out there." Mia's fingers curled around Lily's sleeve, the warmth of her grip a reminder that they were in this together. Lily could feel the fear radiating off Mia, it was palpable, like the electric charge in the air before a storm. "What do we do?" Jake asked, his voice steadier than the others, but she could see the way his eyes flickered with uncertainty. "Right now, we need to hide," the girl said urgently. "If they find out you're here, it won't just be you in danger. They'll come for anyone who's south been close to the truth. Who are they? Alex demanded, his voice sharp, cutting through the tension. There was an edge to his tone that had Lily feeling a sudden surge of admiration for his bravery. The girl shook her head, her wild hair fluttering around her like a frightened bird. I don't know their names. But there are people in power those you wouldn't suspect. They have eyes everywhere. Lily could feel her lungs constrict at the thought of being watched. The dim warehouse felt like a trap, shadows growing longer and more oppressive. We can't just sit here, she said, fear igniting a fire within her. We need to figure out what happened. This is our chance. Your chance. The girl looked at Lily with wide eyes, filled with a mix of panic and disbelief. This isn't a game. People have died. You could end up just like them. Jake's protective stance was unwavering. We're not afraid. We need to know the truth, even if it's dangerous, he clarified. The girl hesitated, the air thickening with her indecision. Finally, she nodded, though her expression remained uncertain. If you're serious then follow me. There's a place I've stashed some things. Evidence. We can use it against them. But you have to promise me you can't tell anyone. Not yet. Whatever it takes, Lily replied, her resolve firm. They followed her through the maze of debris, navigating past rusted pipes and forgotten crates. With each step deeper into the warehouse, the shadows loomed larger, wrapping around them like a blanket of fear. Lily's heart raced, spurred by anticipation and the thrill of what lay ahead. This way, the girl whispered, ducking into a small, dimly lit room that felt suffocating. It was cluttered with papers and old photographs, pictures of faces lost in time but filled with haunting familiarity. Look, she urged, trembling fingers pointing at a pile. Here these files have everything. As Lily leaned closer, her eyes widened at the information laid before her. Names she recognized, connected to the accident all interwoven in a dark web of deceit. Just then, a loud crash echoed outside, causing them all to jump. Did you hear that? Mia said, her voice laced with fear. Yes, the girl replied, urgency flooding her tone. They're here. We need to move now. Lily felt the rush of adrenaline spike through her. Everything was unraveling at once, but in that chaos, she also felt a surge of determination. This was no longer just about answers, it was about survival. As they turned to flee, a figure suddenly stepped into the light from the doorway, blocking their escape. Thought you could run away, huh? The voice was deep, laden with menace. Lily's eyes widened. Who was it? And were they about to make their worst nightmare a reality? The shadows seemed to writhe around them as uncertainty gripped her again. What would happen next? The figure stepped further into the room, lit by the dim glow of a flashlight. Recognition coursed through Lily like ice. It was Darren, a name whispered in her nightmares, the person who had struck fear in the heart of their community. In that moment, the air thickened, each breath filled with dread. You should have kept your noses out of this, Darren sneered, eyes gleaming with a predatory glint. Now you're going to pay the price. Lily's heart raced, panic lacing her thoughts. She felt the warmth of Mia squeezing her hand tightly, an instinctive gesture of support. Jake shifted in front of them, standing tall, body tense, ready for anything. Don't you dare touch them. Alex growled, stepping forward with a fierce glare. Darren chuckled darkly, unfazed. Oh. And what will you do? His gaze flicked toward the girl, now pale with fear. You think your little band of misfits can stop me? You don't know the depths I go to protect my interests. Interests like hurting people. Jake replied, anger flaring within him. We know about your past. We're not just going to stand by. With a swift motion, Darren raised his flashlight, illuminating the documents spread out on the table. Looks like you've been busy. But these little secrets? They won't protect you now. Lily's mind raced. She had to think fast. "We're not afraid of you, Darren," she said, her voice stronger than she felt. "You're not invincible, and your secrets can't stay buried forever." Darren's smile faltered for just a moment, and Lily seized the opportunity. "People have been hurt because of you, and we will uncover everything. Together." Her words hung in the air like a challenge. For a brief moment, something flickered in Darren's eyes, fear or doubt, she couldn't tell. But the moment passed, and he stepped closer, menacingly. "You really think people will believe you? After all you've done?" With a sudden movement, he lunged forward. The room erupted in chaos, the girl yelling for them to run. The group bolted from the small room, adrenaline surging. "Out the back!" Alex shouted, leading the way as they skidded through the debris, heartbeats echoing in their ears. They dashed through the labyrinth of the warehouse, the distant sound of footsteps chasing them down. "Over there." Lily pointed to a window, the frame jagged but accessible. They scrambled toward it, the sounds of pursuit growing closer. She felt the ground beneath her shift, her heart racing as she climbed onto a stack of crates, pushing herself through the narrow opening. Just as she landed outside, she heard a shout behind them. "Someone's here." The night air was crisp, a contrast to the suffocating tension inside. The rain had lightened, painted the scene in shimmering reflections. They could hear the rustle of leaves as their feet flew down a nearby path, away from the danger. "We can't stop now," Jake urged, glancing over his shoulder, letting fear strike him but moving forward nonetheless. They ran, adrenaline pumping through their veins, until they finally reached the tree line bordering the warehouse property. Panting, they paused for a moment to catch their breath, the weight of their escape washing over them. Lily looked at each of them, her heart swelled with disbelief that they had made it out alive. "We need to go back to the bakery. It feels safe and we can get some help." "Do you really think we can trust anyone?" Mia asked, glancing back nervously. "I don't know," Alex admitted solemnly, "but we have to figure this out. We need to protect ourselves and expose him." The journey back felt surreal, each step tainted with uncertainty and determination. They were no longer children tangled in rumors and petty dramas, they had crossed a line into a world where truth was a powerful weapon, albeit a dangerous one, and they had to wield it carefully. As they arrived back at the bakery, its familiar scent returned, grounding them in reality. The soft glow of light radiated from within, and they stepped through the door, a momentary feeling of safety blanketing them, but it wouldn't last long. Inside, Amy looked up from the counter, eyes wide. "What happened? Are you all okay?" "We need to talk, Mom," Lily replied, her voice steady despite the tremors inside her. With the rest of the family gathered around, Lily began recounting everything: the danger, the secrets, the darkness that had been looming over them. As she spoke, the expressions in the room shifted from concern to determination. Together they would face this storm. With the support of her family, Lily felt a renewed strength bubbling within her. They would expose the truth, not just for themselves, but for everyone who had been silenced by fear. "This is our fight now," she declared, heart racing. Her family nodded in agreement, a collective sense of purpose igniting within them. "We'll gather the evidence," Jake said, "and make sure everyone knows what's really going on." "Together," Mia added, her voice resolute. "We can't let them win." As they stood together, united in purpose, a sense of hope washed over them. Whatever storms lay ahead, they would face them together, as a family, and as they set to work, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. The path to redemption was long, but she would walk it fearlessly, armed with truth, surrounded by love. There was power in their story, and they were ready to share it with the world. Now, if you loved this emotional roller coaster, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss our next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed that algorithm that keeps the magic alive. And don't forget to comment below your thoughts and feelings about this ending. Your feedback means everything. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second. Your true support shapes our community. Let us take this journey together.